When I think about tools, there's three elements of this. One is human capital. Sometimes when we ask people to do things or to engage in a project, they may need to have access to people that are higher up than them in the organization. You need to pave the way for them to have access. The second one is physical capital. Do they have the equipment required to execute? So if I want people to do spreadsheets, yet I gave them an abacus, we're going to have a real problem there. That is not their problem. That is my problem. I need to make sure that I get things into the hands of the people that need it to do their job successfully. And then the third is financial capital. Do they have a budget to solve the problem? Sometimes we have to go outside of the organization and borrow some people's brains where we don't have that intellectual horsepower inside our building, but do they have access to budgets to help solve the problem? Those are all things that we need to be thinking about when we try and hold people responsible for execution. There's two sides of time. One is on the leader's side, and the other is on the person who's executing. So one of the things that I see time and time again inside of companies is we try and do too many things simultaneously. If we would just slow down, if we would just prioritize, I encourage you to make bigger bets on fewer priorities. Focus in on throughput and not activity. Now, our job on the leader side is to communicate the strategy. Here's what we're doing as a company. Here are the objectives that we want to achieve. And then we have to be clear about the priorities. Here's the order of operations that we are trying to walk these things through. And guess what? We have operating businesses. The second side of this is on the person who's executing. So if your leader is asking you to do something that's outside of the priorities, your job is to communicate, because if you don't do that on your side, then we're just assuming that you're going to execute on all of it. And so you have to make sure that you are managing your time and expectations. And then the other piece of it on the execution side is calendar control. You have to align your day with your priorities. And I encourage people, don't leave it to chance. Schedule time with yourself to work on the specific priorities that you're working on. How does a leader control time? It's really on the execution side for them to manage their time. And I said, I can change people's time if I tell them, you know what? I know you had 4 priorities. We're going to take one of them off the board. I give them time back. So I can manage people's times by changing their priorities. And that's why we have to continually check in and make sure that projects are moving and that we have enough time to execute. And this is what companies and leaders do continually. We hire people, we bring them into the company and into our care. We put them at the top of the mountain with no training. And we say, Maria, Roanne, good luck. Don't hurt yourself and don't hurt the business. Don't do that to our people. When we hire people, it's our responsibility to train them on the way we want things to be done. Because at the end of the day, nature abhors a vacuum. And when we are not clear about how we want things done inside of our company, then people just do the best that they could.